Hello friends, welcome to ProTalent and I am Nitin Parmar. I'm sure we all understand that IIM admission is not just about, clearing written examination, but at the same time, you must clear the next stage, which is known as personality assessment stage. Once you clear your CAT, okay, the coveted students, that is the top, few percentile students are called at, IIMs for interview and WAT, which is popularly known as written ability test. दोस्तों आज के सेशन में हम बात करने वाले हैं what is this WAT all about, how to prepare for it, what are the important ingredients needed to get success at WAT, okay, what are the examiner looking at in the candidate through WAT exercise, okay, then I will also give you some tips with respect to WAT. That is, what is the structure of WAT, what are the important, things you have to keep in mind, possibly a broader structure for your mind. Okay, let's start to discuss about it. दोस्तों, written ability test is a very crucial part. Okay, दोस्तों ये जो written ability test होता है ना, ठीक है, IIM का, that is trying to check one very crucial aspect, that whether a candidate who is in front of them is able to complete a paragraph, try to provide a logic in it, and can reach to a conclusion or not. Okay, so basically this is not a very longish essay like in UPSC or let's say in any other examinations where you have to write long essay for 2 to 3 hours. No, it is not that longish. You will be given some around 15 to 20 minutes. So it's a short time. In a short time, one problem is basically being raised, one situation is basically being provided, or one statement is being made, and you have to write some paragraphs on it. Okay, so written ability test or writing ability test is what it is presented. So primarily it is trying to check whether intellectually are you really aware about the argument being made in the given statement or not. Okay, so that is in the topic. That is what they want to know. They want to know, can you make different arguments? Okay, and then at the end of the day, they also want to know that you can say, are you having that writer's ability or not? In a management program, it is expected that the student must be good at written communication. Okay, apart from the oral communication. Oral communication may go to a lot of, emotional quotient related part. But written ability test is purely skill based. Okay, so when I say the oral communication, many of us, may not have a good command over, big audience when we are speaking. For example, let's say if we talk about Mr. Narayan Murthy, when he's speaking to large number of people, you may not find him to be having a great oratory skills. Okay, but still people follow him. Okay, people really accept what Mr. Narayan Murthy says. So there are a lot of factors which influence. But when it comes to written communication, it is purely a skill. Okay, and that's the reason why an MBA college wishes to check this capability. Even in examinations like GMAT, they have, this written ability test like an essay in the GMAT. Okay, great. So what are the important elements of this writing ability test? One, your ability to understand the topic. Number two, having an insightful and in-depth analysis, display of unity of your thoughts and progression in your ideas, and obviously your language skills like vocab, grammar, okay, completion of the argument, okay, those kind of things are being checked. Okay, so my dear students, okay, you must prepare well for this WAT. Okay, simply looking at the topics, remember, simply looking at previous year topics may not help you. Okay, you have to practice on it. Okay, you must practice for at least 30 to 40 WAT topics so that in the D-Day you are able to display your writing ability in a maximum manner. Okay, great. So my dear students, okay, what is expected out of you in this WAT? Okay, as I mentioned, you must have a comprehensive knowledge on multiple topics. Okay, dosto, this is very crucial because you are given only one topic, but you don't know which topic you are going to get. It is a compulsory part. You have to write only about that topic. You don't have a choice that if not one, then you can choose two. If not two, you can choose three. Nothing like that. You have one topic, you must write it. Okay, so it is a compulsion. Okay, it is mandatory part. There are no option available, and therefore, it is crucial to have this comprehensive knowledge on multiple topics. Okay, great. You keep closely to the given topic and you do not digress from the topic. Okay, this is also one of the very important part being checked. Okay, this is expected out of you that if the topic is, we can say, reducing participation or diminishing participation of women in the labor force, okay, then you focus only on that. Okay, you don't go and talk about any other thing. Okay, this is obviously not in-depth essay, but at least you can say a topic which is, you can say, provided to you, you must talk about that. Okay, still, let's say you may possibly end up giving very, you can say, regular arguments. Okay, the examiner is not checking, you can say, a lot of knowledge. A reasonable knowledge to a graduate level is needed. Okay, and in what manner you try and put those points and reach to the conclusion is what basically being checked. That is what the arranging ideas in orderly paragraph format. Focus on this. Focus on this word, paragraph format. What do I mean by paragraph format? Okay, in this you can say that it is not expected that you give bulleted points the way I have given. It is not expected. Bulleted points are not expected. You should be in a position to closely connect all these points, okay, so that you are able to express your ideas effectively in an exact manner. This is very crucial. Okay, so don't write your WAT in a bulleted format. Write in a paragraph format. Try and connect sentences and make sure that you complete the entire WAT. You don't leave in between due to lack of time. You may possibly give lesser arguments. You may possibly give lesser reasons and reach to your conclusion fast. You have only 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so you may not be in a position to write more than, let's say, 150 to 200 words. Okay, so don't expect, you can say, that you are going to write a lot of, you can say, 500, 600 word essay kind of stuff. Don't expect that. So many times our expectation is we can write a lot, we want to incorporate a lot of things, but the time is not in our favor. Okay, so therefore keep that in mind that whatever you started as an introduction, whatever the body part you are providing, and then you reach to a conclusion. You must have a concluding line. So this is the meaning of paragraph format. I hope it is clear to you. Is that very clear? Very good. So this is what expected out of you in WAT. Clear? Hai? Very good. So on what are you tested on? In examiner, okay, in this examination, the examiner is testing your command over language, and that's why the name is called writing ability test. Okay, they are not just checking your intellectual exploration. They are not checking whether you are able to know the detailed insight about a particular issue. For example, let's say if there is a topic happening about GST, nobody is checking whether do you really know the latest information about GST. No, that is not being expected. It is only whatever the argument being provided. Are you reaching to a conclusion based on that argument? That is what basically being checked. Obviously, a basic grasp and overall understanding of the topic is really need of the hour. Okay, because if you don't know what is GST, okay, how GST impacts the people, how GST impacts the center and the state relationship, how GST impacts the businesses. Okay, if you don't know that, obviously you will not be able to argue at all. Okay, similarly, if there is a talk happening about this online education during this COVID-19, okay, now you must be knowing, you can say, basic information about it. Okay, having some reasonable level of grasp is needed. Okay, then you will be checked on your articulation skill. Okay, the way you frame sentences, many times we end up making long sentences. Okay, we try to make, we can say, convoluted sentences. Avoid doing it. Okay, because here you are basically being checked on your language, okay, on your grammar, on your vocab. So I suggest try to make small sentences, okay, and connect those sentences. Use a lot of, you can say, transition words. These are important, rather than making one convoluted sentence which is longish, which goes on for some around 2 to 3 lines, and then there are a lot of grammatical mistakes. Okay, I think you get this idea. Okay, so always focus on, you can say, small sentences wherein you can put a very clear articulation. Okay, don't go for a lot of convoluted, lot of mixed sentences which goes for 3 to 4 lines. Okay, what happens by adding so long, you can say, sentences, it generally, you can say, ends up into lot of grammatical errors. Okay, and we are not able to find out that. When we write it, we believe कि हमने तो सही लिखा है. But my dear students, it gets into a lot of trouble. Okay, obviously you display your analytical skills, you identify reasons, you can say, impacting your conclusion. That is where your analytical skills will come. In your introduction, okay, how well you connect it with the real life situation, or you may possibly give quote of someone, or you may possibly give some example, or you may possibly try to give some analogy. Okay, that's your creativity. Okay, and obviously your presentation skills. Okay, that means in what structure you are providing. The presentation skills is majorly in a paragraph format. Okay, but even in the paragraph, okay, how logically you are connecting all your points. Okay, that is what being checked. Okay, that is what being checked. Make sure that you are, you can say, doing it in a right manner. Okay, moving further, what is the structure of WAT? What you should do is what I'm now telling you. Okay, so first you have a small part which is introduction, then comes body part where you try to provide lot of arguments. Okay, and then finally you reach to a conclusion, and everything is in a paragraph format. Okay, so this is your first paragraph, this is your second paragraph, and this is your third. Okay, this first paragraph would be possibly very small, having some 3 to 4 lines. Okay, the last paragraph would be very small, 1 or 2 lines. Okay, while body will have some around 10 to 15 lines. Okay, this is ideally a kind of, you can say, WAT structure. Okay, now what happens, you can say, in this scenario of this body structure? Okay, what kind of, you can say, things you can add? Let me tell you that. Your introduction, you can say, you may possibly follow, you can say, one of the 10 methods which I provided to you here. Okay, these 10 methods are wonderful methods of giving introduction. Very wonderful method. Okay, and they are successful methods. Now for each and every method you have to practice. Okay, what I'm telling you, that you apply this 10 method and you will be in a position to do it on the D-Day. No, it is not possible. Why it is not possible? You need to do some homework for it. Okay, for example, let's say use famous quotes. Okay, now when you use famous quote, you have to write it verbatim, and you have to also mention who has, you can say, given this quote. Okay, so what you need to do? You identify few topics, at least some 7 to 8 topics. Okay, for example, let's say women's conditions. I'm sure there are passages which are coming about women's conditions. Okay, so take up quotes on women's freedom, on women's liberties, women's conditions, okay, and social issues connected to women. Look at quotes of the people. You write down some 10-15 quotes, okay, you search on them, you read them, you try to remember them. So one is on women issue, okay, other is on governance issue, okay, on freedom of the people, on the liberty of the people, okay. Third topic could be about, you can say, consumer psyche, okay, about how do they take businesses, how do they take marketing, okay, those issues, okay. You may possibly take some management aspect, okay, so that is operations management and team management, organization behavior, those kind of thing, some issues related to IT, okay, some statistical, you can say, points, okay, those kind of codes is what you can possibly take, okay, they will help you quote on, let's say, health, quote on pandemic, okay. These are the kind of topics you can possibly keep with you, okay. You have some, you can say, 40-50, you can say, quotes, you try and you can say remember them, and whenever a passage is given to you, you may possibly try with that, okay. Some of you may be expert by asking a right question, a very relevant question, okay. For example, let's say when we talk about the, you can say, issue related to vaccination, okay, how would you remove the you can say a kind of misconceptions in the mind of, you can say, people about vaccination, okay. Then you may possibly ask a question: how many of you are living today without any vaccination to be provided to you? Yes or no? Okay. Or you may possibly start a question on the people's trust on science, okay. Okay. So that is how you can possibly start a question with, or you may possibly provide some interesting background related to that issue, or you may possibly state a surprising fact, okay. So many times we read a lot, okay, and when we know a particular topic which is connected to our heart, we have read a lot, we may possibly give some surprising facts, yes or no, okay. Or you may possibly give an anecdote, okay, from the kind of stories you have read, okay, from the autobiography of someone, okay, or some kind of, let's say, real life situations, you may possibly give that, or you may possibly state a common misconception that may possibly give you a proper direction, okay, of giving you the kind of good introduction. You may define a problem, you may possibly give analogy, you may give data, or you may possibly define let's say keywords or topics. Let's say there is a passage about, let's say, or there is a topic about fake news,